back with yet another video. This one's going to be a little bit different subject. This one's going to be about riding as a pack, riding together as a group. Now, on a guided tour, we do this a couple reasons, especially Route 66. We do this so you don't get lost, all right? And also, it's a bit safer to ride as a group because you're more visible to, people in cages, cars. They see us. If we're riding in a pack, they see us a lot easier than if you're on your own. So, first thing about riding in a pack, first thing is I always ask the group who's got the most riding experience and who has the least amount of riding experience. I ask this because that's how I form places in the group based on ability. Now, I want my riders at the back to have the most experience for a couple of reasons. One is that we get what we call the rubber band effect. Rubber band effect is when we're getting on or off a motorway, a ramp, what have you, is that we have to get up to speed fairly quickly when we get on the motorway, on the interstate, as we call it here. So when we get on the interstate, the front of the group doesn't just pretty easy to keep up with me. However, the ones at the back, sometimes they got to twist it on a little bit more to keep up with the group and keep the group together. So they do tend to go a little bit faster than the ones at the front. And also the ones at the front are the ones with the least riding experience, especially those who are not used to riding in a pack. Also people who are really afraid of getting lost. That's why I'm at the front, riding a bike at the front. Now, I also do that so I can keep an eye on them. So that way I can give them hints and pointers and tell them, hey, this is what you can do to improve your riding. And when I do that, it's not an attack, it's not criticism. I'm just trying to help you become a better rider. I've been riding motorcycles since I was about 8 years old. I'm still learning. And I do about 40, 50,000 miles in 7-8 months a year. Sometimes up to 80,000 miles a year. So I do a lot of riding. So I can help you. I'm still learning too. I'm still learning. Every time I go out, I still learn something new. But you never stop learning when you're riding. And if you got someone who's got more experience than you, ask them. Use them. Use them as someone to help you develop yourself as a rider. It's a great thing to do. So I do that, and it helps keep the group together better too. So, I want the riders with the most experience, the most years riding, and also the ones most experienced with riding in a group towards the rear of the pack. So they know what to do. Also, if there is a problem up at the front, they know how to stop quickly and get out of the way if, God forbid, something bad happens. So there's less possibility of a multiple motorcycle accident. So it's done for safety reasons as well. Now when we ride as a pack, we ride in a staggered formation. By staggered, I mean we ride in the same lane together. But within that lane, we're riding in a staggered formation, never side by side, and never, ever straight one behind the other. That's just asking for problems. When you ride in a pack, you always want to have a place to go to in case some idiot in a cage comes along and changes lanes. You got to have a way out. Always leave a way out. That's the best riding hint I can give anybody. Always leave an out. A way to get out of trouble if it comes your way. Okay? So we ride together in a staggered formation. Now, when we're riding in a staggered formation, typically you need to have about a second to a second and a half, maybe 2 seconds between you and the rider in front of you passing a stationary object. That means the bike in front of you passes a stationary object, you go 1,000, 1.5. Okay, you're good. That's about the right distance. That gives you ample braking distance and maneuvering distance, okay? When we're riding also, when we're going around curves, when you're going around curves, feel free, it's okay, you can break formation to pick your line around the curve. That's fine, okay? However, once you come out of the curve, go back to your place in the pack where you just were, okay, within the pack. All right? So that way you can choose your line around the curve and not have to slow down for the bikes around you. Another thing is I also ask, please, whatever you do, do not change positions within the group while we are moving. If you want to change positions in the group, wait. We ride only for about an hour, hour and 15 minutes at a stretch. Then we'll take a break, and then after the next break, then you pick the new position in the group that you want, okay? Do not change positions in the group while we're moving. We do this for safety reasons, okay? All it takes is for one person that's being overtaken, okay, to not see it. That's the problem. Okay, they're not paying attention. Some they don't know what's going on, and they have to brake suddenly, and they don't know you're there. They got to maneuver suddenly. You know, there's roadkill or whatever. Boom, there's an accident. Do not change positions in the group while we're riding. Okay, that's really important. So please do not change positions. Another thing is riding as a pack. Now, when we're in a city, when we're riding somewhere like Chicago, St. Louis, Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Amarillo, Santa Fe, any of the bigger towns, we want to tighten up our formation. Okay, we want to ride together a little more closely as a pack. We want to get together closer. We want about a 1 second distance between us for a couple of reasons. One is that it makes us more visible to the idiots in cages, you know, the dumbasses in the cars that ain't going to see us. Well, they're going to see a whole bunch of bikers. Secondly, keeps us together better. That way you're sure you're not going to miss an exit. Everybody's going to see the exit. It's real easy to keep a group together like that. And it also makes it easier if we got stoplights, things like that, stoplights and stop signs. It's easier to keep the group together instead of us getting all split up. And I'll go over that later when we got stoplights, things like that. I'll go over that in another video, okay? So, but when we're out in the country, doesn't matter. You can spread out a little bit more. Give it a 2, 3, 4 second distance. When we're out in the middle of nowhere, New Mexico, West Texas, you know, western Oklahoma, it's all right. You can spread out some. Get the good view. I'm all for that, okay? But when we come back into a town, even if it's a small town, we need to tighten up the group, stay in nice tight formation through the city. Once we're back out in the country again, spread out again. That's fine. Got no problem with that. I got a radio right here in the sport vehicle, and I got it on my bike too. So that way I know what's going on with the back of the group, and that way I know how fast to go and, you know, what I need to do to keep the group together. So don't worry about that. All right, we've got this down to a science now. I've pretty much got it down. But one more time, when we're out in the country, you can spread out. When we come into a town or a city, tighten up the group, especially on the interstate. In a city, which we call a freeway, okay? You tighten up the group so that way we're riding nice and tight. We want nice, even distancing. Maintain your lane discipline. And you're going to have to work on it a little bit, especially those who aren't used to riding in a pack. So, but we'll get used to it. It takes a couple days of getting down. You find your favorite place in the group. You find the people that you like to ride around, things like that. You know how they're going to ride. You know how they're going to act. That's fine, okay? It takes a couple days. Be patient with other people, especially those who've never ridden in a group before either. They haven't ridden in a pack, okay? Be a little patient with them, okay? Because it does take some getting used to, especially if they've never ridden in a pack before. Really takes some getting used to. Especially if they've never ridden a Harley either. Because now you're on an unfamiliar bike in an unfamiliar country, in an unfamiliar environment, riding environment. So give it some time, be patient with people, and we'll all go out and we'll have a good time. And we'll have a safe time, and we'll get all the way across the United States without a problem. All right? So keep those in mind about riding as a pack. That's about it for now. I'm going to come back at you with another video. We're going to go over another video which I'll cover things like stoplights, 4-way stop signs, 2-way stop signs, and right turns on red lights. I'll go over those next time. So until then, keep the rubber on the road and the shiny side up. See y'all in Chicago.
Hot dog, hot damn, I love this American.